Soil. Soil is the loose upper layer of the Earth's surface where plants grow. Soil consists of a mix of decayed plants and animals and broken bits of rocks and minerals. Water and air are also a part of soil. Soil differs from place to place. Importance of soil. Many plants need soil to grow. Plants use soil not only for nutrients, but also anchor into the ground using their roots. Soil releases gases such as carbon dioxide into the air. Many animals, fungi, and bacteria live in soil. The soil helps to filter and clean our water. Composition of soil. Rocks and stones. Rocks and stones hold the roots of plants firmly to the ground. Air and water are present in the spaces between the soil particles. Air provides oxygen for the roots of plants and for other organisms living in the soil. Water. Plants absorb water and minerals, salts from the soil through their roots. Microbes. Microorganisms break down dead plants and animals to form humus, which returns minerals and other useful substances back to the soil. Living organisms. Earthworms and some insects make holes in the soil which allow air to pass through. Their activity also helps in mixing the layers of soil. Inorganic material. The inorganic materials are the rocks that have been broken down into smaller pieces. The size of the particles varies. It may appear as pebbles, gravel, or as small particles of sand or clay. Organic material. The organic material is decaying, living matter. This could be died plants or animals in decayed until they become part of the soil. Water. The amount of water in the soil is closely linked with the climate and other characteristics of the region. The characteristics of the soil depends upon the nature and size of particles that are present in it. Layers of soil. Soil is made up of distinct layers. Each layer has its own characteristics that make it different from all of the other layers. These characteristics play a very important role. The top layer of soil is made up of living and decomposed materials like leaves, plants, and bugs. The layers that we call topsoil is made up of minerals and decomposed matter, and it is also very dark in color. This is the layer that many plants' roots grow in. The layer that we call subsoil is located just below the topsoil. This layer has clay and mineral deposits and less organic materials than the layers above it. The layer that we call regolith is located just below the subsoil. This layer is made up of slightly unbroken rock, and only a little bit of living material is found here. Plant roots are not found in this layer. Topsoil. This is the fertile top layer of the soil, which is dark brown due to the presence of humans. It is rich in minerals. Many plants and animals live in it. Subsoil. This is the lighter colored layer of soil found below the topsoil. It is rich in minerals, but contains no humus and few organisms can live in it. Some plant roots extend deep into the subsoil. Types of soil. Soils are named according to the size of the particles present in them. Sandy soil. This type of soil is made up of bigger particles which have large spaces between them so water and air can freely circulate in. Water drains very quickly from it and takes away most of the minerals with it. Therefore, this type of soil is also called hungry soil. Plants and animals cannot live in such soil because, although there is a lot of air, it lacks the minerals and water essential for their healthy growth. Clay soil. This type of soil is made up of tiny particles which stick to each other. As there are very few air spaces, water is trapped between the particles. This type of soil is called heavy soil because it has a lot of water and very little air. It also has a large amount of minerals. Plants and animals cannot live in such soil because they cannot breathe in it. Silt soil. It is one of the most fertile soil. It is granular like sandy soil, but it has more nutrient than sandy soil. It also offers better drainage. Chalk soil. It consists of larger number of stones. It is a poor choice for plantation. Peat soil. It contains more organic matter than most of the other kinds of soils. It is generally found in marshy areas. This soil is formed in wet climate. Loam. This soil contains a mixture of large and small particles as well as a lot of minerals due to the presence of humus. It is the best type of soil for the healthy growth of plants and animals. Humus. Humus consists of the dead and decaying remains of plants. It helps to keep the soil in good condition for healthy growth of plants. It binds large particles of sand so that they are not easily blown away by wind or washed away by flowing water. It helps to loosen up small clay particles so that the water present between them is drained away and more air can circulate. It releases important minerals in the soil which are needed by plants for their healthy growth. Properties of soil. Texture of soil. One of the most important properties of soil is the texture. Pick up a pinch of soil between fingers and rub it back and forth. We'll quickly notice that the soil is made up of many different sized particles. Sand particles feel rough. Clay soil has very small sized particles, while silt has in-between size of particles. Some soils contain more large particles and less small particles. Some soils contain more small particles and less large size particles. Soil color. The color of soil tells scientists a lot about it. Scientists have recognized over 170 colors of soil. Most of these are shades of black, brown, red, gray, and white, etc. The soil with red color may contain iron particles. The soil with gray color may contain quartz particles. Formation of soil. The action of wind, temperature changes, chemicals, and water breaks the surface of rocks into tiny grains by a process called weathering. This process has been going on for millions of years, and soil is continuously being formed. Effect of moisture on soil characteristics. Different types of soils contain different water contents. For example, sand does not have much water because it has large pores and water evaporates easily, while clay has a lot water contents and retains it in soil due to very small particles. Similarly, silt soil contains medium quantity of water. This quantity of water in the soil affects its characteristics. Plants grow well in the soil that contains medium quantity of water contents. Moisture contents in the soil can be checked by taking small amount of soil in hand. Absorption of water by different types of soil. Soil type is very important to determine not only how rapidly water is absorbed and is retained, that is how much water is held in soil and how rapidly water is drained out. Some soil take up water very slowly, such as clay soil, and also hold it well, i.e. they do not drain well. Some soils absorb water well, such as peat and sandy soil. Peat soil holds water well. Sandy soils do not hold water well, allowing it to drain out quickly. Now we will perform an activity to check which soil absorbs more water. Erosion. Plant roots help to hold soil particles together. If plants growing in an area are cut down, burned, or eaten by animals, the land becomes bare. The top layer of soil can be easily worn away by rainwater or blown by wind. No plants can grow in the remaining soil. The removal of the fertile top layer of soil is called erosion. Fertilizers. Plants use minerals to make important food substances. They absorb these minerals from the soil through their roots. As these minerals are used up, more must be added to the soil to replace them. This is done by applying chemical substances called fertilizers, which contain minerals necessary for the healthy growth of plants. Types of fertilizers. Organic fertilizers. Manure, animal waste, compost, decaying plants, dried blood, and bones are organic fertilizers because they are made from the bodies of living organisms. These organic substances have to be broken down by the action of microbes to release the important minerals present in them, so they act slowly. Inorganic fertilizers. These are chemically made in factories. They are soluble in water, so plants can use them immediately. But they can prove very harmful if they are used for a long time or in large quantities. Urea is a commonly used fertilizer. Life in soil. The soil contains living organisms, microorganisms, having different kinds. Some of them live in soil, such as bacteria and other unicellular organisms. Many insects live on land. They need food, water, and air. The components present in the soil helps organisms to live and to reproduce. Two organisms of different species have been found to live and reproduce. Two organisms of different species have been found to live together for mutual benefit of each other. Such an association is known as symbiosis. The bacteria, which occupy the root nodules, get their supply of carbohydrates directly from the host tissues, and in return they supply their host with nitrogen. This takes place in the soil. The organisms are also beneficial, as some organisms act as decomposers and break down the dead organic material in bodies of living animal. Example: earthworm, ants, termites. Some fungi and bacteria make friendly relations with roots of plants. They help even plants to grow better. Decomposers. Decomposers are microorganisms that break down the dead organic materials into simpler inorganic substances. Mainly bacteria and fungi are decomposers, which are present in every type of environment. They are also present in the soil. They decompose the dead bodies and waste products of animals, fallen leaves, and dead roots of plants. In this way, nutrients present in dead material are recycled. This recycling process has two benefits. There is no heap of dead animals in the soil. Dead material is broken down into simpler substances. Insects and earthworms present in the soil also help decomposers. They consume dead bodies and break complex bodies into simpler pieces. The smaller pieces are then easily decomposed by bacteria and fungi.